Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grant and welcome back to another video where we are going to continue trying to learn those concepts that are extremely important in back-end software engineering. So we're doing a project to try to reinforce a lot of those concepts and those ideas that back-end engineering really thrives on and that we need to learn if we want to become a back-end software engineer. So we're doing this project right here and we're just going to continue on with that. So as you can see in my background, I actually changed locations. I'm no longer in my Seattle apartment. I split my time between Seattle now and Portland. So this is my like Portland childhood home. So the reason that I split my time between the two is because because I'm in the hardware department, I have to be in office for a portion of the week, right? I'm not able to just be fully remote. So I do Fridays and Mondays up in Seattle. And then, yeah, so I'm splitting my time between Portland and Seattle. But, anyways, let's get started with the actual project. So, this is the one that we were working on last time, and we are able to get this different view engine, and we were dealing with EJS, and we were learning about a whole bunch of different ideas. So what I did last time was I kind of created this golden copy, something that works, but we don't exactly know why it works. It was kind of vibe coded that we just, went to ChatGPT, asked it like, "Hey, how do you do this?" "Oh, okay, well," and then we were just trying to plug and play things. Now, okay, cool. We have something that works. We have something that actually does what it's supposed to do. Now we get the fun part of we can go and investigate like, okay, how is it working? Why is it working? What's going on? How do we increase the complexity? How do we change it? How do we do all of this stuff? So that's kind of what we're going to be doing today and continuing on into the future, making it more and more complex and trying to get those skills. Like for example, I know that interacting with the database is important for back-end engineering. Awesome. Let's try to implement some kind of database storage and communication in this project, even if maybe it doesn't make sense to do so or whatever. The point of this project isn't to create something so useful. We're just trying to learn the skills. Okay. All right, let's go. So so we have this app, and this app was this express object. So we get this app back, okay? And then we are able to create these middleware functions. So like app.use, and then we put in this like route right here, and then the function that gets called when that route triggers. So when Express holds on to a route, how should I say that? When Express receives a route which matches the haha route, Express says, okay, I'm going to take this and send it to this haha routes function. So we did that here, and this is like it sends it actually to, I guess, to this router, this uh, router that we exported and then captured in the server.js. Okay. And then, so then I guess it just automatically sends it to this function here. Actually, I think what goes on is it takes the haha, right? Like, okay, let me run this. So we do node mon, and then what? Server.js. Okay, right? Wait, crash. Why did it crash? Module not found. What's going on here? Throw error. Cannot find module. Index.js. Well, that's interesting. Wait, hold on. What if I do like this? Does it, okay, it can't, Can't connect, so we're not connected to anything. Now the question is like, why? Well, wait, hold on. Index is right here. All right, so I guess we have a little bit of troubleshooting to do. I thought this was my golden copy. What's going on? Let's control F and search for index. Oh, no, index is right here. Okay. We have index.ejs. So, is this where the... Why I'm a little bit confused right now is because we have this backslash index, but that is... No, this isn't a route, right? No, it is a route. So if I do index, it triggers this right here. And then, okay, this index should be the one which is associated with this EJS, I think. Render. Okay, where is index? It's here in routes, right? So do I need to put the actual source, like... like here, src, and then routes, source, routes, then index. No, views, or views maybe? I don't know. Views, index dot ejs. I don't know if that's correct. It says no. Okay, so let's I guess we have to go back to ChatGPT and figure out why. Render this. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay. Okay, let's see what it says. Okay. Incorrect. Starting node server JS. Server. Did I misspell it? Is that what's going on? Hold on, let me actually go back. Delete that there. Okay, then Control C this. Okay, and then it should be node. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, I guess that actually does bring up a question like, and I did do .ejs, so I changed this. I changed it, but it's still working. Well, let's kind of verify that it is working, though. Before we get too antsy, let's come here and then do index. Okay, does it? It's working. It's working. Let us then delete this .ejs. And let's see if it does it then. Let's refresh it. It's working it. That's a good question. Let's ask. Okay. When I ran the correct node mon command, it started working with I then changed it to and both routes to index worked. Okay. EJS. Why was I able to get to write either index or index.ejs? Okay, you're on to something interesting. Actually, your second version contains a syntax error, but it still may have worked due to JavaScript's quirks. Okay. Why does res.render index work? Okay, res render index. Title, about us. So Express automatically assumes you're referring to an EJS file, index.ejs, because earlier in your code you said it. So I think that's referring to up here where I did the routes. Where did I do that? So set view engine, not routes, sorry. So we're setting, and this means like the actual settings, like this setting, right? We are setting settings within this application, this express object, which is this setting right here, view engine. We are changing it to say, hey, you are equal to EJS, which means the view engine is set to EJS. Okay. So now, why was I able to do either one? Okay. Yep, see right here. So this tells Express that all views will be EJS files by default, so you only need to pass an index. And Express appends the EJS automatically. Now, so why did this work? Technically, it shouldn't work. I like that because index.ejs isn't valid JavaScript. Did I put it? I put it in the wrong thing. But if it worked, it's likely interpreted incorrect. Okay, never mind. It's fine. This is the way it's supposed to be. So we have our little routes that we are able to send, and so we take the express, we put it on a certain port and IP address. Right now it's to the local host, and where do we actually do that? Okay, app.listen port. So we put it on port 5000. So I'm actually a little bit curious. Is there a way in here? So we did not assign an IP address. So right now we're doing localhost. Okay, localhost 5000. I am curious, like what happens if I just do that? I don't think. Yeah, okay. SMP 500 or 5000? That's weird. Wilshire 5000. I've never heard. Have you guys heard of that? Interesting. Okay, but that's not what we want. We want this. And the question is like, well, first off, I didn't assign localhost. That's probably just a default within Express. But how do I change that? What if I don't want localhost? do I really want to get into like what is that DHCP dynamic, or maybe I don't want to ask that question right now. We're going to save that question for a little bit later. Yeah, I don't want to ask that question right now. Okay, so the other thing that I'm curious about is like how does okay, so it's setting views, okay, to be the current path, okay, and then source views, okay, so here is a folder, and this is views, okay. Now in this I have index.ejs. So I'm a little bit, okay, so here's my HTML. Maybe I need to figure out what can go into views. Like what can I have multiple HTML file or EJS files? Like what if I did let's just try it. Let's say another.ejs. Okay? Another.ejs. And what do we want to do? I'm just going to copy and paste this. Copy this. Paste this. And then this is how we linked the CSS to it. So I want to try changing this, but we're going to do that later. What if I do like H2? Does it not? Okay, there we go. This is within the new one. Okay. So now we're going to try to load this another. So I'm going to go back into first I'm going to go into server and just try to do something like just get it to load that HTML from a route. Okay, so how do we do that? We do this. Okay, so app. I want to talk to the application. I want to change the application such that I'm adding a route. Okay, app.get. And it's a get request. Okay. And what is the route that I want? I want second page. I don't know. I'm just writing something. Second page. And now we pass in a function. So we have a request and a response. Okay, and what do we want to do when that occurs? We want to, how do we do it up here? Render. So we did response. We want to respond back. Response dot what? Render. It's okay. Render. What do we want to render? We want to render another.ejs. So I do another. Okay. Now I think I need to pass in the parameters, right? Is that what I did up here? Can't see. Where is it? Yes. Parameters in the form of a JSON. Okay. And in my another, what are the things? It's title and message. So I'm going to do that. Where did I click? I'm going to do that here. So title. Crazy. Okay, crazy. And then message is you have mail. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna run this, and I do second page. Okay. Not there. Here. Oh, come on, please, please, please work. Bam! Okay, this is within the new one, so that we were able to load that second EJS file. So it's whatever is within that views folder. Oh, that's so cool. Now, something that I'm not really good at is because my background is in electrical engineering, I never took a web development class. So I never did like HTML, CSS, and all of that. So I want to learn a little bit of that too. I know that we're focusing in on backend engineering. We're trying to become better at those skills, but I also feel like if you're going to be doing backend, you ought to know at least the cursory level understanding of like, okay, how do you build a web page? So we're going to be looking at that as well because I want to learn it. So I'm going to try to change the text here and just make it a little bit different. So it also helps because I want to change this. So instead of relative link to this styles.css, I'm going to change it to styles2.cs, and I'm going to create a new CSS file. So now, okay, relative link style sheet. Here. Does this mean from the root? And I'm right here, though. Public styles. But there's no public. Wait. Okay. Bing. Good. We have stumbled upon a, not misunderstanding, a confusion point right here, which is a good thing because once we find a confusion point, we're able to solve it and mitigate it. So let's articulate first off what I'm confused about and then try to figure out how to solve it. So I'm trying to figure out where this href, and then it just says styles. And this was, in the past, it was styles.css. I changed it to now be styles2. But obviously that is connected to, or it's joining this HTML file with this styles.css file. But this path doesn't seem to actually align with anything. It's inside of the source here. So it's source, but my EJS file is within views. That doesn't make any sense, right? Unless I did something up here. No? Source public. Okay. So I think it has to do something with like this right here, but I don't know how those three things connect. So I think that there's, let's try to articulate this. In my EJS file, I have a line that says which connects that EJS HTML to a CSS for styling. Okay? But the link or link path doesn't seem to add, or doesn't seem to point to the right location. How is this being rendered? Okay, so tag is telling the browser to look for styles2 at here. But this only works if CSS knows where to serve static files from. Yeah. So how does it know where to serve static? Well, I, I know that I told it. I know that I told it, right? Like I told it right there. And it's in source public. And you go to source here, and then you go to public, and then within this folder there's the styles. I understand that, but like, is it just automatic that because this HT or this EJS file is not part of Express? Does that make sense? Like, how this isn't part of Express. This is just loaded, right? Like, this is its own thing. It's its own thing. So how does it know to tell, hey, Express, here's the CSS file? Okay. Why isn't it working? It is working though. Your browser is likely looking for in the wrong location because here assumes that this file is being served as a static asset. How to fix it? Okay. Actually, it is working. I am just trying to understand how these get connected. The EJS file is separate from Express. So how does it communicate with Express to identify the location which I only told Express to look for static files in that public folder? Okay, so fantastic question. EJS is separate from Express, but Express acts as the server-side renderer that dynamically processes and serves EJS templates to the client. Let's break that down. Okay. So even though your .egs file is just an HTML-like template, yes, it's a template, okay? Express processes it dynamically. Oh, so it's a template. Express grabs it, and then it renders this line of code that I put that said, "Hey, here's the what did I call it? Like, here's the style sheet." Okay, and I'm guessing style sheet is a keyword, and so it says, "Okay, I know what's gonna go on. I'm gonna look in the public folder for the static files. Then I am going to grab this. Like within static files, I grab this." Okay, so in your server.js, this line tells Express that EJS is responsible for rendering views. Yep. Yes, it does. Okay. App.set view engine, yep, tells Express EJS files when render is used. Got it. App.set views, okay, views here. This was where I put EJS files. Defines where Express should look for EJS files. Okay. So I'm telling Express to use EJS. Then I'm telling Express where EJS files are located. Okay. The request comes in for index when a user enters this. Okay. Yep. Render index. All of this. Here's some information about us. Finds index.ejs. Okay. Hold on. Let me think about this for a second. So this render method finds index.ejs because it knows where EJS files are. So it finds that template, okay, passes the data, title and message into it, and generates the final HTML. So now render, which is an express object, has HTML with the passed in parameters of title and message, okay? Inside index.ejs, the dynamic placeholders are replaced. Okay, we got that. About us, yeah, we got that. It just takes the variables that I passed in and puts it into their place. Okay. Now, linking. Here we go. Your EJS file contains this. Yes, it does. Since Express is serving static files with app.use, the browser finds and loads styles2 from here. So it knows to look there. Okay, the browser does not need Express to process it. It simply fetches the files directly. Hold on, let me read that sentence again. Since Express is serving static files, with, yeah, the browser finds and loads here. The browser does it. What do you mean the browser does it? What do you mean by the browser? What did it say? Finds and loads it? And loads it. Who is the browser? Who is the browser? Who? We're gonna figure this all out. Okay, when I say the browser, like I don't want to just cursory like say like, oh, the browser does it. What does that mean? Who is the browser? What are they using? What's going on here? Okay, good question. The browser finds and loads it. I mean the web browser. Okay, so it is a separate software entity is responsible for displaying it. So a browser is a software application that lets users view websites and interact with content, okay? It takes a URL like this, sends a request to the server. Okay, so the browser is software that takes that request that it gets in and sends whatever an HTTP request, either a GET, a post, or whatever it is, it sends that. And then it gets something back, it gets that response back, and then renders it. Okay, renders, so it's separate software that renders. Okay, I think I got it. How does the browser load? So request, when your EJS file contains this, the browser sees this and tries to fetch here. Okay. Check for static files. Since Express is serving static files via app.use here, the browser automatically looks inside of here, download, and imply. So, does this imply that all of the, and I think it does, all of the files inside of public are sent to the browser every single time a user sends a request to the server? I mean, this doesn't seem very sustainable. What if you have a very large, like, what if you have 1,000 static files, but each web page, like each path uses one of those 1,000 files? Why do you need to load 1,000? Okay. this does not seem like a sustainable method if a web page is only loading one item from the public folder, but in a large application there could be thousands of large files for different web pages. Okay. So great thinking. No, not all files inside of public are sent to the browser every time a request is made. The browser only requests what it... Okay, so the browser is requesting it, meaning files are loaded on demand rather than being sent all at once. Okay, so when the browser visits this, Express renders index.egs and sends the browser HTML. Browser reads HTML, detects link files. Your index.html contains this, right? The browser sees this CSS and sends another request. Here we go. Got it. This is amazing. This is so cool. Express serves that static file, right? Like it just sends, hey. And I believe we might have done this again, but now I'm going to do it with, I think I did this exact experiment that I'm about to do in one of my previous videos, but now I'm going to do it again with more context and more understanding, and it's going to help me learn. Okay, so I'm just going to go like this. And we need to change this to one that exists right now. Yes. Okay. So I was able to... My browser here sent a web request, or sent a request to my server that says, hey, give me styles.css. My server here responded, okay, that's in public, here you go, and gave it to me. Now my browser can take that and then apply it to the HTML. That's how it connects. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. So now I'm going to try to do, what was it, second page. Okay. Yeah. Second page. And it said crazy. I saw that. Second page. Crazy. Oh, that's cool. Okay. You got mail. And notice it's like this, not shifted over. And that's because we have this styles too. I believe if we do it like this, it is going to come here and we can reload this, and now it's going to have that style. So let's create styles 2, and now that we know anything within public can be requested, and so it's going to try to request this styles 2. So let's give it a styles 2. styles2.css. Okay. So now what's the format? So we have this h1, which I believe applies to all h1s. And then we have this like color. Okay. So let's do that. So I'm going to do h2 here. Color is brown. Okay. So now we should be able to load this. Aha. There we go. Remember, because I called this h2. And what's this? You got mail. That's like title. Is that what I called it? Yeah, it's called title up here. Okay, so let's change this and let's do title is now going to be green. color is green. Oh, what was the other one? Hold on, I think I saw some. Alice blue aqua. Aqua, I like that. Okay. Let's do aqua. Huh? Why? 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 Huh? What's going on here? Okay. Color. I'm gonna make it just blue. Let's make it obvious. Okay. Blue. Go. 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 Uh. Yeah. Oops. You're almost there, but there's a small issue in your CSS. I meant to. Okay, you wrote title color. This won't work because title is a meta element. A meta element in head and doesn't appear visually in the browser. CSS can only style elements that are visible on the page. But it is visible on the page. Okay. If you want to style the page title as it appears in tabs, you can. Wait, hold on. Is there? Did I do. What? But it is visible. You have mail. Okay. I'm going to search where I know that so you have mail. That's message. Message comes in here. Oh, it's here. So it's this H1. Okay. Let's change that. Where's styles to? Here we go. So I'm going to call it H1 and see if this. Ha ha. Got it. Got it. Okay. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I still want to do with getting a more complex HTML and CSS. I know eventually where we're going to go is we want to have like a box that the user can input data in, and then I'm going to grab that data, I'm going to process it, I'm going to store it in a database, right? Like I have all of these ideas that I want to do, but I feel like today we definitely made progress on learning like how things are connecting, how you're able to create multiple different CSS files and load the one that you want. You're able to load the different EJS file that you want. So I'm pretty happy with where we got today. If you are curious, then you want to continue watching this series, then subscribe. That I ended up getting, I broke 900 subscribers today. So thank you to everyone who subscribed. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. That's amazing. So yeah, if you want to continue watching, subscribe. And I will be putting out a new video coming up very soon about these projects. So continuing, we are going to continue to improve our skills as a back-end software engineer and learn all that we can. So thank you guys for watching. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and I'll see you soon.